I think one of the most popular topics in the YouTube fragrance space is cheap and sexy. And I get it. Who wants to spend $2, $4, $6, $8, $1,000 on a fragrance? Not everybody has that budget, and not everybody should spend that type of shit. You shouldn't be at the dinner table making life decisions on whether to buy a fragrance or to have rice for dinner. It's oils, it's alcohol, it's a fancy bottle, sometimes not even. Fragrance is just an accessory. It's not a necessity. It's like a pocket square, it's like a watch, it's like a wallet. These are just accessories. Fragrance is used to enhance, maybe build confidence, to attract people's attention, to get that extra boost in confidence. It can have all those things, but it doesn't mean you have to spend 6 figures to obtain that. Now, it's not too difficult to achieve depending on what your level of sexy is. And the only way to find that out is actually testing the fragrance, seeing how it works for you, seeing how it makes you feel, and possibly seeing the reactions of the people around you. Now, I have picked 10 fragrances in my collection that I feel are sexy and cheap, and ones that you can purchase without having to break the bank and still smell pretty fucking awesome. Let's roll my motherfucking music so I can put you onto 10 cheap and sexy fragrances in my stash.
I'm kind of a big
Blessed morning, my beautiful peoples. You know who it is. It's your boy, C to the U to the B to the A. Now, these are all very all over the place, and that's how I am with fragrance. I'm all over the place. There is no consistency. I bounce up and down all the time. There's times that I don't want to wear fragrance. I just want my body to detox, just like somebody who eats meat on a consistent basis. Pause. Sometimes they just want to reset their palate, go the vegan route, just so when they go back to tasting meat, they can enjoy it more. The flavor explosion will be next level. Their taste buds are gonna be like, whoa, what the fuck is that? Sometimes you need a little bit of a reset. But when it comes to cheap and sexy fragrances, in my personal opinion, these are definitely one of them. These are not the absolute cheapest or sexiest fragrances, just ones that I personally think that you should try. So the first fragrance that I selected is not a fragrance that's talked about, I don't even think at all. It's kind of an old schoolish type fragrance, but really, really enjoyable, and that's by the house of Escada, and that is Sentiment Pom. So when I think of Escada Sentiment Pom, I think of an old school vibe, but still very wearable at this time. It's a juniper gin-based fragrance with a little bit of a lime and spiciness. Also, there's notes of like nutmeg in here, which give it a little bit of a earthiness type vibe. Like if you're going through mama's spice rack and shit, and there's that nutmeg that's used once in a blue moon, but when you crack it open, you're like, this is weird, but I kind of like it. The dry down of this fragrance has all those little mass appeal qualities that you want. It's boozy, it's bright, it's slightly aquatic, it's got some spice, and it's got nice dry woods when it's really dry down on the skin. It's not a performance beast, but it's been known to last a little bit over 6.5 hours off of my skin, which has been absolutely perfect. We're talking about a fragrance that you can shop it around, in some places find it anywhere from a $20 to $40 space. Definitely easy to wear. You can wear it at work, you can wear it chill, you can dress it up, you can dress it down. It has all those little nuances that you're looking for in a sassy, cheap fragrance. So for me, in the cheap and sexy space, Escada Sentiment Pom is definitely a contender. Next one. This next one is a brand new acquisition in my collection, and it was love at first sniff for $30 some odd. Another one that you can shop around and potentially find it cheaper, or even buy it along with some body wash and candle. And that's by Bath and Body Works, and that's coffee and whiskey. It's literally just that. It's coffee, whiskey, and vanilla bean. It has little nuances of Nichané's Annie as far as that vanillic kind of vibe, but it has a very nice single malt, not too peaty type whiskey vibe with a little bit of a coffee grain element. How can you go wrong with that shit? The only problem with the bottle is that it says Bath and Body Works, so wifey's gonna look at you some type of way if you walk in with a little paper bag that says Bath and Body Works and you didn't go with her. So in the couple of wears that I've gotten, at least 7 hours of performance on a $30 some odd bottle. It smells of niche quality. I personally think it's stellar. And to know that it's Bath and Body Works and they did some shit like this that's this fucking good, Cheap and sexy is definitely in coffee and whiskey. Next one. Now, when you want to get some inexpensive, good quality clothes, majority of the people hit Zara. So when you go to Zara, be sure to walk by the fragrance aisle and see if you can pick yourself up some Zara For Him Red Edition. To my nose, this is a little bit of a red tobacco with a Baccarat Rouge 540 twist. It's got that cotton candy sweetness of that Baccarat Rouge with that ambery dryness that I get from red tobacco. It's musky, it's bright, it's mass appealing, does not perform amazing, but it's something that's so inexpensive. I believe it was, what, 30 some odd dollars, maybe 25 to $30. Zara ain't selling a $100 fragrance, so you don't gotta worry about that shit. But most people who have smelled this fragrance have truly enjoyed it, and it's easy to pick up when you're buying some chinos or a very slim fit dress shirt. Next one. This next one blew my doors off. It was so inexpensive. The house is not something that has mad familiarity within my collection, but it was so fucking good for the price point. I believe the price point in this one is lingering around the $20 to $35 space, and that's by Frank Olivier, and that's Amber. Dare I say this has niche type quality in a very, very, very affordable presentation. At the end of the day, this cost the price of a venti Starbucks fucking coffee, but with all the goodies that you want in a niche ambery fragrance. I mean, if you want to put this shit with a contender of a Christian Dior or an MFK, I could put this up there, dude, for like 20 some odd dollars. You got a beautiful orangey bergamot fragrance with delicious ambery nuances here and performance. The dry down of this fragrance is a beautiful ambery vetiver type vibes with this nice sandalwood base kind of just lathering and coating the skin, giving you amazing niche quality in such a budget fragrance. There are some little synthetic nuances here, but who gives a shit? If you're looking for cheap and sexy and you're on a budget, synthetic is not something that you should have in your vocabulary. You should have fire, cheap, and this is what I can afford and this is what I'm copping. This is no slouch and you are not compromising. Next one. When it comes to the world of mass appeal, you've heard about this fragrance 10,000 times unless you're brand new in the fragrance space. And if you're brand new, welcome to Mont Blanc Legend Spirit. Mont Blanc, fucking idiot. Aquatic, fresh, simple, yet sexy. Cashmere, bergamot, grapefruit, aquatic-y notes, peppery vibes, bright, great performance for an inexpensive bottle. This is only a 30 ml because I don't need 50 or 100 or 200 ml of any fragrance when you have anything more than 10 fragrances. Range is also in that space to $20 to $40. You can shop it around. There's a lot of gray market discounters that will have this joint for the low, and this is easily one of the most versatile mass appeal joints in this list. You can wear this shit all 4 seasons, at all occasions, at all times, and no one around you is gonna complain that you smell a little too aggressive, it's a little too woody, it's a little bit too ugh. It's easy to wear with all the sex appeal and hype behind it. So Mont Blanc Legend Spirit is a legend of its own. Next one. Every time I put this fragrance in a list, I say the same thing. It's a very surprising fragrance for a car brand manufacturer, and that's Mercedes-Benz Select Night. It's a crazy cardamom sweet fragrance with lavender vibes that's pure date night appropriate. Fall and winter, I think this fragrance can really shine, but it also has a lot of versatility that it is all nighttime date type vibes. It's got vanilla, it's got cedar, it's got hints of oud, date night, clubbing, dressed up, sexy, loafers with no socks, high water type pants, whatever you fashionable lads be wearing. This is a fragrance that can absolutely make you shine like a star on a budget. I love a fragrance that I have a preconceived notion that I'm gonna shit on, and then when I start to wear it and rock it, it totally switches it around, and this will do it for you. Trust me, Mercedes-Benz Select Night, super sexy, cheap, affordable, what you're looking for. Next one. This one I've had for a while, and this is not for everybody. This is for somebody who wants to step into that niche world and really experiment with weird notes that you don't anticipate them being sexy until you actually wear them. This is by the House of Moulinard, and this is Figuei. So if you can't assume by the name, it's a fig-based scent. Now I know what you're thinking, what the fuck does that have to do with sexy? Well, the combination of blackcurrant, fig, cedar, musk, and amber vibes in here is absolutely sexy, juicy, ripe, and super erotic in my personal opinion. I am a fig fan, and it took me only a little while to really appreciate fig, as what it does off of my skin is absolutely gorgeous. It pops off my skin with this dry fruitiness, and then you add the blackcurrant, which adds a little bit of that juiciness to the dryness of the fig, and really smells spectacular on the dry down because this has this vanillic kind of nuance that makes it kind of relaxed and sexy vibes. And then you got elements of musk and cedar and green notes. Beautiful fragrance. Definitely worth a lot more than the price point, and performs super well off of my skin. So if you want to experiment with a fig-based fragrance and really get your paws into the niche space, Moulinard Figuei, awesome. Next one. Another easy mass appeal beast by the house of Chromazaro, and that's that pure Blanco, baby. Mandarina and bergamot. This is a fragrance that leans a lot more for the hot weather and performs awesome in the hot weather. Now, if you're in a climate that's skating on the equator, this is a fragrance that you may want to consider for that high heat because it performs outstanding. Cedar, aquatic, mandarin, bergamot, tonka. Mass appeal like a motherfucker. Super budget, will never skyrocket in price because people will just pass it along as some regular shit. Let your DNA, let your pH levels, let your skin scent really embrace the fragrance and see how it truly performs and how it exudes off of your skin before you judge it right from rip. Don't believe a content creator or a YouTuber. Believe your skin. Fuck what we all say. Until you test it on your skin and it really does what it's supposed to do for you, then you can truly judge it. At the end of the day, we all have different noses, different tastes, different pH levels. Not every fragrance is gonna smell the absolute same, but I encourage you guys to at least bare minimum test these out on your skin, and maybe our noses align, maybe our pH levels align, or maybe we're just related and you're a long lost sibling that I didn't know about because the 80s were lit. Next one. This next one is somewhat of a clone of a Parfums de Marly fragrance, but it has its own little nuances, and this shit is sexy. It's by the house of Haramain, and that's Detour Noir. Detour Noir was an absolute love at first sniff, but the almond note in here, very, very stellar. It's almond, it's heliotrope, it's sandalwood, it's nutty, it's earthy, it's bright, it's mass appealing, and it's cheap as shit. Don't judge the book by its cover, because I always do, and this cover looks like shit, but the fragrance itself smells amazing. It is a clone, but it's cheap, sexy, and very, very good. Don't try it once, try it twice, and then get back to me and tell me how lit this is. And last and certainly not least, this was an Amazon cop. I believe, I know it's under 20 bucks. I think it was like $13. There's no possible way that a fragrance for $13 is gonna smell any good. Absolutely wrong. This fragrance is called Territories pour Homme. It's in the space of a Dylan Blue or a Dior Sauvage, in that blue space with watery notes, and if you also sprinkle a little bit of like maybe First Instinct kind of or Fierce in here with this watermelon type note. So you got cardamom, you got watermelon, you got leathery notes, you got green notes, and a little bit of a mossy leathery type vibe. You get a very cheap fragrance with mass appeal. The performance on this one is actually very, very good. Easy to wear, and $13, something you can literally throw in your glove box, throw in your gym bag. You can set it and forget it. It doesn't matter where it falls. You can purchase another 100 ml for $13 to $15. Great fragrance, probably the cheapest one in this list, and actually may have more performance than some of these put together. Now, these are my selections for 10 sexy, cheap fragrances that you can pick up anywhere. Go on the gray market, Google half of these shits, and you'll definitely be able to check them out, test them out on your skin, see if they work for you, and if you get those sexy compliments, just let me know, Cuba, you right. I love y'all motherfuckers from the heart, and I'll see y'all bitches next time. You know what is biggest in the game. Smooches.
Cubaknow, what's fresh, who's best, wanna know who's gonna pass the test. Cubaknow.
Fly gun holder, money folder, molar roller, start attack when it's time to call back. For the rough, rugged, and raw way, this nigga Jay, it's a game, but he don't play. Hey, for all the chicks that got dead in the penthouse suite on top of my mom's crib. It's never get in. It's hard business, you would think that